Hi guys, welcome to lesson 5.2, menus and settings in Book Creator. So I've just signed in. I have already created a book here. You're probably going to have an empty or blank screen. You'll have two libraries in Book Creator. One is called My Books, which is for your own private book creation. And then you have the ability to create one library where people can join that library and submit or add books to that. So that would be, as a teacher, the type of setting or the system you would use where you'd create that library. Kids would join that library, and then as they create books inside that library, it shows up in yours. Very similar to Google Classroom, where they might join your class and then you see or have the option to kind of see what they're doing. So those are those choices. So over here, just kind of familiarize yourself with the menus. Over here on the left-hand side, the three lines is kind of the menu bar. When you do that, it takes you to the teacher dashboard, and this is where you can see your libraries. So right now I've got My Books, which is private. Okay, that means I'm not sharing that with anyone, and I can do, in each library, I can have 40 books. So in My Books here, I can create 40 of my own books in that, and that's part of the free account. When you do any of the paid accounts, you can get more. I have not created a library yet. I actually have, but they're sort of hidden. I can create a new library, and that would be for the purpose of like sharing it with my students so that then they can turn their books in, or they can create their books inside that library and everyone can see them, or I can see them. Down here is where if someone shares their library with you, that's where you can see the libraries that you're a part of from outside or other people. So that's sort of the library setup. We'll talk about that more. Also then up here in the top right-hand corner are the archived libraries. So if I click on those, I can see I actually have a couple of libraries that I've archived. So in terms of the settings, you're allowed one extra library here outside of your My Books. So you can create those, but you can only have one running at a time. The nice thing is, very similar to Google Classroom, you can archive those libraries and save them, and that will allow you to create another one. Inside those libraries, you can have up to 40 books. So if I create a library called, let's say my computer programming class, then I can have that, and there can be up to 40 books inside that library for that. Here, if you flip over to resources, there's resources by grade and by subject, which are really nice to look at. We'll check math out here. And so it gives you some different opportunities. This was one of the books that was in our article. Then there's a bunch of other books here. So just some really good resources for using Book Creator in those specific areas or specific grade levels. Also, as part of the menus down here, once you create books, there are some of the book options, the sharing and reading, but the most of the menus or the settings exist over here in the three bars or the teacher dashboard. Also, the last thing is there's the account options here where you can see you can upgrade some logins. There's more resources here, or you can sign yourself out. So that's menus and settings in Book Creator.